scarecrow jumps off the wall and buys up the Beatles' memory as if it were a bottle of cheap British schnapps. This totally pissed white folks off. Say, so what? He fucked Elvis's baby girl, true that. But then Elvis fucked our baby girls, baby boys, mama, daddy, grandma, grandpa, and such till the black was stroked out of our blues. But there is no such thing as fair trade in the bruised wars of culture. Say, so what? I moonwalk around Notre Dame, calling out to Our Lady in ways that defy speech. The breach in the classic world that I created can never be closed. From the mad ghetto boys of South Houston to the sperm-soaked streets of Lagos, ruled by Fela Anikilabo Kuti, I cross myself in death with symbols of the coming of man. The right hand on my crutch, the left waving to my baby, she's in the next room. The left knee and ankle raised in eternal dispute with graveyards, hamstring loose below the right thigh. Samson had all the muscle in the world, but he couldn't move like me. Vivid, stray, cold, housed under white canary, James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, Jimi Hendrix made my way. I give them praise and thanks for showing me how to rob banks with music. Steel, carrots, parlay, almond, the birds of Bahrain are stuffed in little holes of concrete and sand and left on the beach to preach in silence to the masters of oil wealth. Their stealth and cunning in the art of running a game would not please the Prophet Muhammad, who will offer me cool leave. Then who will grace me with station and fixed chords, a caretaker of earth, air, metal, wood, wire, and water. I desire two things: a place to be, and the name of the archer who launched me from the pad, Cape Michael. When I come back as a jaguar, there will be throats torn out. Kneecaps will crack. Shins and calves will be shred like wheat under the battle plan of a John Deere tractor. Save your money and buy your tickets, because you know I will be back. Rudy and the Valentinos, Charlie and the Lindberghs, James and the Deans, Marilyn and the Monroes, Elvis and the Presleys, Johnny and the Lennons, Mikey and the Jacksons make the globe tremble. Shave an iceberg out from its center. No doubt, this is the age bearing the Bozo Yuga. This is not real opium you handed me, but a pledge with some pizza flavor. I asked for a Georgia stomp, an Alabama strut, a Carolina shout, and you handed me a stapler to shoot myself through the door, to deflate the pain. I am insane! I want the pain.
All I gotta say is that you don't really care about it.
For every Gabriel blowing a joyous horn through her mouth, there is a drunken sun house on Hollywood Boulevard. Crack slouch, asleep in his red rocking chair, wonders where, when, and why her prayers turned away from the collar to reveal the rising sun and into genuine nightmares. We press down on cold ducks with time and hammer them into food. Brazen, thin men remove the shape from nails. The rude whip from the back of the body, a turtle strides into the campground. He brings a blue guitar back from Gary, Indiana of my youth. I saw two men take down a third, lay him gently on the ground, and remove the rope from his neck. As one man soothed the burned throat, the other reached inside the dead man's chest and pulled out his heart. The art of healing is never lost. O night of wax lament, where we release the last record of your soul, the people are not sad about what happened to you. Of elfin limb and paper mache, you are solid inside, in clouds sedate, and funeral mount, there is heard coming and going liquid lotus fire. What does the down button mean? In the face of the panel of the ride, there are lines that explain the price of a stumble or a misstep. I want to go to the 13th floor. The door opens at number 9. What kind of sign is that? God is the aim, but mostly the claim is one that only moves persona from one solemn horizon to the next. What if the motion was toward a black vertex that endured and outlasted time, health, illness, rank, grammar, logic, truth, vision, and being, beyond even inner seeing? The roan mare raised the rose stud. The rose stud went to town. The town was blank and gone all day. Mare and stud in town became full, optimum, great, bold, like warriors with the blooded self-control of women. To be an animal means to know your limit. Cool sugar beet, crushed against mortar by cruel pestle, is the prime metaphor I use to illuminate the platform of our love. We need to squeeze and wring your body until it is thin as a wet rag drying in the sweat lodge of plain summer. That walk is the walk of a killer, slow to deliver motive, but so brazen that the smell of earth, the shift of wind, the drift of sky has no choice but to choose you over the victim. It's not about victory, defeat, or death. It's that walk. When you sing in unison with any being, you become one. You get their letters, their laws. As long as the song endures, a cricket is a lonely woman. Spike Lee hugs Madonna in the open. Alms for babies wailing in Malawi, compose songs for those who weep in London. Gristle and cartilage and white bone poke through skin. This is after the end of the world. His story and my story crisscross one another several times before a new stage begins. Every 50,000 years, Shiva rises in the west to test the metal of our DNA. To go is the nature and the symbol of Godhead. To stay is the nature and symbol of mankind. The smooth middle path that first seems wise, then finally foolish. The holy man chewed lemon drops to soothe his gut's deep burn. At death, he left a sweet tooth. The beauty of causes and games is set in the same basket as assault with intent to commit mayhem. I love Richard Pryor because he figured out how to make the naivete of Leon stink. The power of Coltrane and the primal daring of Tupac into an elegant hustle. The dark horse trims fat so that he can get to ship shape. William Butler Yeats sailed off to Byzantium when his muse told him he had arrived in a country where there was no place for old men. Degrading, color, romance, sound, then founder in your own film. A widow makes me kiss a Masonic stone. I am alone in a part of myself that can't stop the needle and scalpel from peeling all the flesh down from around my asshole. I was once fierce in my loins. My heat broke and the climate changed. The idea of being buried offends me. Big hole fronted by a marble stump. They expect me to just jump in and let them pile on until I rot and become an afterthought. Some ritual, residue, rehash, burn. I didn't come from dust. So, why did I return? They don't really care about us. This too can borrow in the folks.